Hey y'all, it's been a minute since I made a YouTube video. I just be so busy with stuff and editing takes so long for YouTube. So sorry I haven't made a video in a while, but hopefully I can quench your thirst because I just know you've been waiting on a video from me. I thought I would do a Halloween-esque look. I'm not gonna say it's like, super extra, but I've had all of this scrap denim and I have no idea what to do with it. It's just been sitting in my closet and I thought, oh, I should make that dress that Britney wore way back in early 2000s. And I'm like, that'd be cute. So I'm gonna do a little photo shoot and I'm gonna just take you along my process. So it's not gonna be necessarily like a tutorial, but more just me taking you along how I do my visuals in terms of pictures, because I know a lot of people want to see that from me more. So we're gonna do a video like that today and we're gonna get into it. This is all of the denim I have that I'm gonna use for the dress today. I didn't know how much of it I would need, so I just pulled out everything because I was just gonna take it apart, which is basically what I did, and use all of it. Just as a disclaimer, I did not get all of the video of me making the dress. I kind of just got the beginning of me cutting out the dress, which you see here, which I use as the main body part of the dress. And then I also got parts of me attaching the other layers of the dress, just because I had to kind of figure out how I wanted to put it all together, and that was kind of difficult to do, so I didn't really get that on video. I essentially used this dress that you see as the base of the main body, and I took the buttons and put them on the side so that I could kind of wear it as almost like a makeshift zipper so that I can get into it. And then the bottom part of the dress is basically the other parts of denim that I just kind of cut out and put triangles into to kind of give it like a tail. Here is me the next day just trying it on again to try to see what I needed to tweak before I start preparing to take pictures, and I felt like the front just needed another little piece of square in the front, which I'll add in black later. Overall, I love the way that it came out though. I felt like it kind of had that messy look that I was going for. I didn't really like the back all that much, and even when I go back and tweak it, because I kind of was fixated on the back because it just was weird, and every time I tried to sew it and make it look neat, it just looked really silly. But other than that, I really loved the dress and I loved how it came out. I feel like it looked how I thought it would in my head. The hardest part about making this dress definitely had to be working with the denim. I don't think my sewing machine's like heavy duty by any means, so it was difficult to really like get these pieces under the machine just because of how tiny my machine is. And I know it doesn't look like I'm struggling, but I'm like struggling. Like it was hard to kind of like make sure it laid flat and didn't bunch up, but I did the best I could, and I think it turned out good. I had to hurry up and get this part in here because there are some people doing construction next door to me and have been doing so since like 8 o'clock this morning. Yeah, and for the makeup look, I just wanted to kind of do something simple. I've been very into not wearing lashes. I don't know why. I think it might just be because sometimes when I get specific lashes, they're way too heavy, like on my eyes, and they make me look like I'm tired. And sometimes I like that look, but sometimes I want my eyes to be a little bit more expressive. I want them to be a little bit more visible. So I've been kind of leaning into this very like natural, like Nollywood type vibe where I literally just kind of make my eyes look a little bit dark around them, and then that's it. I kind of wanted to say that though, because I feel like that's not a look I see people do a lot. Like a lot of times people say they're doing their makeup, like they do a full face, and I do a full face too, but I just like my face to be the focus of the makeup, not the makeup making my face, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna do my makeup and then I'll catch you guys when I'm setting the backdrop up. The setup goes by really fast because I have these little command hooks I put on the ceiling and I just put the sheets on there. It's really easy. I'm kind of weird before I take pictures because it's like I think my executive function doesn't kick in and I'm just like overwhelmed. So I'm just like walking around in circles. But the first thing I normally do is I start playing some music. I like to listen to lo-fi a lot in my free time, but I'll also play albums. I'll definitely be playing the Beyonce Renaissance album for this. That's kind of what I was looking for. I was getting my computer to load. My computer is like a dinosaur, so it took forever. But always play music for the vibes when you're taking pictures. I use a Canon T5. I have two cameras. I use a Canon T5 to take my pictures. Normally, my regular pictures I take with my phone, like when I go places, because lugging my camera everywhere is really annoying. But I just kind of set it up on my tripod and I gotta kind of just walk back and forth. And this is my life for like the next 2 hours, just walking back and forth. And I use my iPad to basically take the picture because I don't have like I don't like the self timer because I can't focus on myself. So I use my iPad and I'm just looking at my iPad, snap the picture, look at my iPad again, readjust myself, look in the mirror. And that's the main process of how I take pictures. It's very easy for me to get frustrated when I do this because it's just a lot happening that I have to think about. I gotta think, what's my hair doing? How does the dress look? How do my accessories look? Is my necklace straight? Like, is the picture gonna be clear? Like, it's just a lot, and sometimes that can be overwhelming, but I make it work. On to the editing. I just basically go into the Canon Connect app. That's what I take the pictures with. And I go through all of the pictures. I take my time, but I really just download each picture that I like because I go through like a cleansing process at least like 3 times. Like, I like to just pick everything I see that I like. That way I can just then go through my Photos app and go through them again and favorite the ones that I like the most, because I have to condense them down a lot, especially when I know I'm going to be removing myself from the background. So here I am just going through all of them, picking the ones I like, and obviously scrolling past the ones I don't. And that's basically it for that. For editing, I'm mainly using Snapseed. I use Snapseed to kind of put my filters on for my pictures and to just tweak some of the lighting. I like Snapseed because I can select certain parts of the image and change the brightness or the contrast or the structure of the pictures. So Snapseed is like the best free editing app. If you don't use Snapseed, download it. I also like Snapseed because you can basically save the picture and it won't create a duplicate photo. You can just save it and it'll be in your camera roll edited basically. Next, I'm going to open Photoshop, and that's where I'll be doing most of the heavy lifting for the editing, just cutting out the background and adding the backdrops and stuff like that. It's really pretty straightforward. I would say that Photoshop on desktop is a little bit more confusing, but it's pretty much the same thing, and that's what I was using before. But my computer doesn't take Photoshop anymore, so everything I do has to be done on my iPad, which is kind of limiting because the iPad version of Photoshop doesn't have as many options compared to the desktop one. But as usual, I'm gonna make it work. In order to remove myself, all I do is do the quick selection, and then I just kind of go in and lasso the little individual strands of my hair to basically get all them little details, so when I cut myself out, I won't be just like, my hair won't just be weird shape. You know, some people when they cut themselves out in pictures, like it just looks messy. I would say Photoshop is worth it for this because you can really get in there and get them tiny strands and make sure that it looks like the best cutout, that you can't even tell where the cutout begins where it ends. And here I am. This is a tool of it that I really like, what I was talking about, the refine tool, because you can basically brush over those fine pieces of hair and kind of get rid of all of that excess background that you couldn't get with just like the quick selection. One of the things about me editing pictures is I don't know if it's chaotic or not. Like, I think sometimes I think I'm doing the most because it just feels like I do not see people editing pictures like this, so like this gotta look crazy. But it's like, I'm gonna do it anyways because like this is what I love to do. This is what I love to create. I love to create things that are unique. And I think for this, I didn't know if I wanted to keep it just a plain simple background and kind of go for like this minimalist type of thing, but I'm like, no, I'm not minimalist, so why would I do that? So I decided to just kind of download different backgrounds of like detailed pictures of denim, and I was very careful with what background I picked because I wanted it to contrast with the dress but not make it so that I'm blending in with the background, if that makes sense. And so here I am just kind of playing around with the pictures I downloaded, trying to see what works, because I feel like each picture works differently with each background. So finding the right background for each individual picture took a little bit of time, but it was worth it in the end because I felt like each picture looked unique. Like I can just use each picture as a standalone and it'd be perfectly fine. Now that I have the background, I'm gonna go back in and I'm put my filter on, and this is what I was talking about. Like I'm selecting my hair because it was a little bit overexposed, so I brought the brightness down a little bit, and it shows you where area you're actually editing, so you can see, and you can kind of see the difference there. But I love that feature, as well as the grainy film on here. This is what I ended up using. I kind of bounced around between this and PixArt because I didn't know what type of vibe I was going for in terms of the filters, but ultimately I ended up using, I think, X03. I know them by name at this point. I've been using this app for years. Even though I didn't use PixArt, I really do like the app. Just, as a disclaimer for people that love PixArt, I just don't personally like that I have to pay for some of the features, like just the quality of the pictures. Like I tried to get a better quality picture and they were like, nope, you gotta pay for that. Like you want this filter, and the majority of the ones that are nice, you gotta pay for that. So that's the only reason I don't really use it that much. I have used it before, just it's not my go-to like Snapseed is. And these are how my pictures came out. I really love the results. I love the texture. I love mixing textures, and I love to do that with my pictures. One of my favorite ways to edit. I really hope that you guys enjoy watching me do this. I've never really given anybody a peek into how my mind works and how I visualize things, but this was actually kind of fun to rewatch and watch how I work. I hope this video inspired you to be more creative with your pictures and think outside the box, because these are pictures you can keep forever and you want to actually put your own personal stamp on it. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.